Okay, so I'm going to break down the question in the same way as I did the other week, just to help you with planning this answer for your homework. Now, just to be clear, I'm going to break apart the question, I'm going to plan the first paragraph. You need to do the other two paragraphs and give an idea of what you would write in the conclusion. It's not just a case of copying down what I write. So, the question that you're going to answer today is Vesalius's work on anatomy was a major breakthrough in medical knowledge during the period 1500 to 1700. How far do you agree? Explain your answer. And it's a 16-mark question. And it says you may use the following in your answer: Harvey and miasma. So, for a 16-mark question, you need 3 paragraphs. So we've laid it out like this. This is your signpost box. This is where you just state what you're going to write about in the paragraph. In an exam situation, you would turn that into a sentence. In this box here, you write a list of the knowledge that you would include, that specific detail that gets you the marks in the exam. It is this box here that we know we're focusing on, because this is where you really explain how far it was a major breakthrough. And you do that 3 times for 3 different reasons. At the bottom of your page, you'll see a box for the conclusion, okay? Because this is a 16-mark question, it's asking for your opinion, so you're going to need to definitely write a conclusion for this question. So again, I'm going to bug the question, I'm going to box the command word. So the word that obviously I'm going to need to box is explain, because that's about giving reasons why. But I'm also going to draw a box around how far do you agree, okay? Because it's asking me why, but it's also asking for my opinion, okay? It's asking, what do I think? Now, I'm going to use a highlighter to highlight the key terms. So, Vesalius's work on anatomy. Well, I already know that I'm going to write one of my paragraphs, and I'm going to do a little plan on Vesalius, because it's told me that already in the question. It's asking me about Vesalius's work on anatomy, okay? And anatomy is the human body. So I'm going to define that for you as well. Was a major breakthrough. Clearly, this question's asking me, what is the most significant discovery? Which discovery changed things the most? Okay. Now, it's not asking about prevention, it's not asking about treatment, it's asking quite generally, really, about medical knowledge. Okay. Asking about what people knew about medicine during the period 1500 to 1700. Now, they've given me a couple of hints, so I could write about Harvey, and I'm actually going to put that down as something I could write about. And the way that I always remember Harvey is it starts with a H, so we know that he works on the heart. But I'm going to need 3 paragraphs, so I'm going to suggest, guys, that you might like to write a 3rd paragraph, perhaps on the Royal Society and their work in increasing medical knowledge, particularly their work in sharing and discussing new ideas, and perhaps publishing other people's work, particularly that about seeing the miniature animals under the microscope. Now, as an alternative, you might, I'm going to write 4, obviously you only need 3, want to mention Sydenham, because I know he's someone that also works within this period, okay? So the question's asking me, what was the most major breakthrough in medical knowledge during the time period? And that's what we're going to answer. So what I've done for you is I've suggested what you might like to write your paragraphs on. So paragraph 1, you're going to agree with the question. So you're going to want to write about how Vesalius was a major breakthrough. Your knowledge about Vesalius, and then your explanation of what this changed. Your second paragraph, you're going to want to disagree with the question. You're going to want to write about William Harvey and his discovery of the heart and circulation. All that knowledge goes in here. And then your explanation of why this was a breakthrough, what this could lead to, what the significance of this was. And your last paragraph, you're going to again disagree with the question, and I've suggested you might like to write about the Royal Society. Now, this is the paragraph that I'm going to model for you. So we're going to have a look at how I lay this out in the plan. So the paragraph is going to be about the Royal Society, and I'm going to keep glancing back at the question, which is asking about why it was a major breakthrough in medical knowledge. Now, in this box here, I've kind of put my AO1, all of my facts about the Royal Society. So it was formed in 1660, it aimed to promote science and carry out experiments, they had a laboratory, they published a journal, and really importantly, I've put what they published. So we've got Leeuwenhoek and Hooke, who were published in the journal by the Royal Society, and they saw little animals under a microscope, and that's something that the Royal Society published. But in my explanation, I've really got to make sure that I link back to why this was a major breakthrough. Now, obviously, by having a journal, they are promoting and communicating other discoveries, which is obviously going to advance medical knowledge because they're spreading that around. So that's the first thing that I'm going to put down. So I've written, this was a major breakthrough, and I'm going to highlight that because, again, I'm using that phrase from the question, in medical knowledge, because the journal meant ideas could be communicated and more people had the knowledge. Now, I'd like to refer back to these little animals, okay? When Leeuwenhoek and Hooke saw these little animals for the first time, it was the first ever time that they saw bacteria. Now, it was published by the Royal Society, and the news of that discovery spread. Obviously, years later, Louis Pasteur looked under a microscope, which was much more advanced, but he also saw bacteria, and he made that link between decay and the bacteria. So I'm going to explain that actually an example is the publishing of these little animals, because this meant people could also advance the theories. The Royal Society didn't just publish the work, they also promoted the idea of finding out more. So that's what I'm going to explain next. So I've just added, additionally, the Royal Society encouraged others to question and develop ideas, such as the discovery of bacteria, just needs another comma there, which led to new medical knowledge. Again, using that phrase from the question. So what we are expecting you to do, Year 11, is to plan a paragraph on Vesalius and a paragraph on Harvey in the same level as detail as I've done the Royal Society, and to jot down an idea for a conclusion about who you think was the biggest breakthrough. Any questions, obviously ask any of your teachers, and this will be due in next Tuesday.